Have you ever been stuck in a family WhatsApp group or an alumni group with hundreds of people and you had to decide on a location for a group dinner? Just deciding on the menu already creates drama, passive aggressive remarks, and even people leaving the group. That is just the stomach affairs of 10 to 100 people. Now try to apply a broader logic. How do you manage 200 million people spread across thousands of islands with completely different economic, educational, and ethnic backgrounds? Welcome to humanity's greatest problem: governance. Stop thinking that government is just about politicians making sweet promises on TV. From a systemic logic, government is a giant operating system, or OS. It has only one function: to keep chaos, from destroying civilization and to transform it into a functional order. Our world is actually a collection of systemic experiments. There are nations that use the everyone must speak system, some use the just follow the wealthiest system, and others use the let the experts do the work system. In this, the corporate order segment, we will dissect 5 primary types of government. We will see how each system tries to tame millions of people in different ways. Prepare your political logic. Let's dismantle the source code of the state. Democracy. The majority voice is truth protocol. We begin with the most popular system today, democracy. The logic is popular sovereignty. Its main slogan, from the people, by the people, for the people. In this system, every individual is considered to have one unit of power data called a vote. Your POV now, you stand in front of a voting booth, punch a paper, and feel you have a hand in determining the nation's fate. Democracy provides an incredible sense of ownership. Order is built upon consensus. The theory is, if everyone agrees, there will be no riots. But our critical logic knows that democracy has a massive bug: the paradox of choice. When millions of smart and less than smart people have the same vote value, often the winner is not the most correct, but the most popular. Democracy is often trapped in the chaos of noisy and expensive campaigns. However, systemically, this is the safest OS from rebellion. Why? Because if the result is bad, the people can only blame themselves for choosing wrong, not the system. Democracy is a clever way to distribute the responsibility of failure back to the masses. Monarchy, the sperm lottery and blood stability protocol. Jump to the oldest system in the world, monarchy. Here, the logic of power is based on bloodline. If your father is a king, you automatically become the prince or crown princess. Power is inherited like family assets. The logic is absolute stability. In a monarchy, there is no election drama every 5 years that splits society. The people don't need to worry about who the next leader will be because the program is already clearly written in the royal family's DNA. Monarchy provides a very consistent direction for decades. Your POV as a citizen, you have no choice, but you have certainty. You know exactly who your boss is today until 30 years from now. The problem? The birth lottery. If by chance the one born is a genius child, your country will flourish. But if the one born is a spoiled child who doesn't understand how to manage a budget, then doomsday is just a matter of time. Monarchy is a type of government that prioritizes tradition as an anchor of order, but is highly vulnerable to the individual errors of the throne holder. Oligarchy, the exclusive club of capital owners protocol. This is a type of government that is often shy about admitting its true nature. Oligarchy. The logic is power by a handful of elites. Usually they are those with large capital, military connections, or controllers of natural resources. In an oligarchy, the state is run like a closed corporation. Big decisions are not made at the ballot box, but at high-end restaurant tables or private jets. Order is built upon consensus between elites. As long as these capital rulers are united, the country will look stable and the economy will keep moving. Your POV, you feel like you live in a democracy, but why does it feel like the ministers or successful entrepreneurs are always the same few people? You have just seen the workings of an oligarchy. The advantage is that policies can be made very quickly without much debate. The disadvantage, the people are merely seen as consumers or even cost burdens in their financial balance sheets. Oligarchy dictates our logic to believe we are free, when in fact our choices have been curated by a small group of people behind the curtain of power. Republic, the institution and representation protocol. Many people equate republic with democracy, even though the logic is different. A republic is based on law, the constitution, and representation. In a republic, what rules is not the will of the people directly, but the rules of the game that have been agreed upon. The logic is checks and balances. You choose representatives, parliament or senate, to work on your behalf. A republic was created because the founding fathers were usually afraid of the tyranny of the majority. They didn't want 51% of the people to suddenly agree to seize the houses of the other 49%. Thus, rigid legal rules were made that cannot be changed simply by a majority vote. Your POV, you complain about how your legal process in your country is so long and complicated. That is actually a feature, not a bug. A republic is designed so that power is not concentrated in one point and doesn't change simply because of a fleeting social media trend. A republic is a type of government that tries to simulate order through cold bureaucracy and procedures. This is the most corporate OS and highly values formal structure over individual charisma. Technocracy, the data over opinion protocol. Finally, the type most favored by engineers and scientists, technocracy. The logic is expertise and efficiency. In a technocracy, a position is not given because you're popular or because your father is a king, but because you have a certificate of expertise and valid data. Imagine if the Minister of Health were the best doctor, the Minister of Finance the most genius economist, and the Minister of Defense the most tactical strategist. Here, policies are not made based on ideology or political promises, but based on data analysis. If the data says building a bridge at point A will increase the economy by 20%, then it's built. No need to wait for party approval. Your POV as a spectator, you feel like you live in a very efficient machine. Everything is digital, all your complaints are responded to by algorithms, and development proceeds without political drama. But the dark side is the loss of humanity. Technocracy often forgets that humans have emotions, culture, and a sense of justice that cannot be calculated with an Excel formula. Technocracy dictates our logic to become productive machine components, but often fails to provide a soul to a nation. So, what is the common thread of these 5 government types? Logically, all government types are attempts to minimize the cost of chaos. Every nation chooses the software they think best fits their hardware, geography, history, and the people's mentality. Democracy distributes the burden of responsibility to everyone. Monarchy centralizes responsibility in one bloodline. Oligarchy centralizes responsibility in the capital owners. Republic places responsibility on legal institutions. Technocracy places responsibility on technical expertise. Chaos emerges when a nation uses an OS that is incompatible with its people. It's like you're forcing Windows 11 on an old computer from the 90s. It will hang and explode. True order is born when the people feel that the system regulating them is logical, fair, and gives them room to live. We often complain about politics, but without these systems, we might still be busy fighting with neighbors just over house fence borders. Thank you for watching till the end. If you like how we explain complex things to make them make more sense, don't forget to follow Synoptic. We will continue to discuss many everyday things that are actually fascinating as long as they're explained the right way. Synoptic, the world simplified, one thought at a time.